Andrew, you finished 2016 strong. Um, Tell me how last season went from your own perspective, though.
It was a difficult one last season because for me, I think there was so much promise there, and I showed so many signs of moving on to that kind of next level and being really competitive on a world stage, but it didn't quite pan out exactly as I would have liked. You look at Amsterdam European Outdoors, had to pull out the final there with a couple of cramp issues, and same anniversary games after running a big PB. So for me, I think it always felt like there was so much on the table, but it didn't quite transpire. And after taking a few weeks and months and whatever to look back, I think last season just came a little bit early for me because I'd only just really got back into training, and my body just wasn't quite conditioned for the demands of competition. So recovery was a bit of a problem there. But overall, like I say, I was very devastated after Rio in the short term, but longer term I realised it was just a really great foundation for me and a great stepping stone, moving into this year. And I think we're already starting to see that.
You're training with Benke. How has he put you through your paces through the winter?
Straight away I've been in a much better physical kind of position to actually get a lot more winter work done. It wasn't really until March of last year where I felt like I was able to do a lot of the training that I wanted to do. So I spent the first half of the year kind of in and out of training, having to take more time off than I would have liked. I raced here, I won here last year, which was great, but I missed loads of other indoor races. So it was difficult. But training with Benke, it's obviously new for me. I moved there in October, but he's done a really good job of keeping some of the foundations of my kind of previous program that we knew worked so well, and then adding in his own kind of technical kind of knowledge and expertise. So it's been a really good matchup, and I'm having a great time training in Loughborough with the guys. You
mentioned you went away for warm weather. How was that?
Yeah, it was really good. We were away in Tenerife for a couple of weeks in January. It's good because we put in a lot of hard slog in the winter in Loughborough when it was cold, rainy, everything else. So it was nice to get away just before the indoor season because in the hot weather and everything else, it just allows you to kind of operate at slightly higher intensity. So we always find it useful going into indoors or even outdoors just before you start competing.
There was an unfortunate incident with Nigel Levine and James Ellington. Both okay. Obviously had an accident. For those who don't know, who've been in the moon, had a motorcycle accident, went head on with a car that was allegedly on the wrong side of the road. I'm not sure the particulars. From your point of view, though, it must have been encouraging to see the way that British athletics responded and the support that they provided.
They were great. As you said, it was a terrible accident to happen, but they're two great guys. They've been on the team for so long. They're so tight, such good friends with so many people on the team. So for us, that was it was a tough thing to hear. But once we heard they were all right, British Athletics did a really good job of looking after them and their families, and then also making sure that the rest of us on the camp, as best we could, back to training and focusing on the work we had to do. So it was good to see them and see they're all good, and hopefully they keep making great kind of recovery improvement as they already seem to be. They're two strong guys.
The big goal, I guess, this year is the World Champs. Andrew, how do you intend to get yourself in a position to execute, really, to achieve your goals?
I think it all starts with this indoor season. It all starts with the races tomorrow, and hopefully trying to retain my title here and then book my place to go to the European indoors. Already this year, I've been able to do so much track work and so much more specific hurdles work than I was able to last year, just because of the way my kind of body's come on and leaving some of those injury problems behind. So immediately I feel a lot more comfortable over hurdles. Last year, because I didn't do so much work in training, it was tougher going into the big races. But you saw from my races in Karlsruhe last week, able to go up against the world's best and Europe's best and compete well. So I'm in a really good place, and
PBs as well, my friend.
PBs all over the shop. Hopefully that keeps going. That's really important for me. But it's good because I've felt I've had a pretty similar PB indoors since 2012. And I've come on light years physically. It was just about getting the timing right and starting to put that on the track. So hey, it's good. For me going towards London, it's just about taking this indoor season first and focusing on that, and then just keeping that momentum going and keep running PBs.
Got a smile on your face, mate.
Yeah, it's taken a while, but we're starting to get there. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. There's still a lot of work to do, and we've still got to be very careful, managing training and not getting too too carried away. But no, I'm in a good position. Best position I've been in since probably 2012, and it's nice to be able to get enough training done that I can go into races feeling a lot more confident.
Well, you mentioned training. You've got young David in your group. Must be keeping you on your toes, mate. Just knowing that you because you're ahead of the tree, I suppose. It's got to be quite competitive in training, quite intense. Tell me about that.
I don't see myself as top of the tree or anything like that. David, he's an unbelievable athlete, and he's got all the characteristics that you'd want to see in someone who's trying to strive to become the world's best. He's really focused. He's very talented, and and we're bringing each other on, and I think you can see that. He's run PBs this indoor season, so have I. So it's a really good kind of competitive relationship to have in training, and we get on really well off the track as well. So it's so far it's just been great, and hopefully we keep moving each other on.
You mentioned the disappointment of Rio, and I think that came across in your interview, post race. Was you surprised that Omar McLeod won it? Is it just one of those things, as David touched on earlier in an interview we did with him, with hurdles being so unpredictable, or a rhythm event, hit a hurdle, it's over for you? Or did you kind of look at him and think, yeah, he's one that could definitely, pull off a surprise?
For me it was no surprise. You watch Omar all year, and he was wicked on the circuit. He pretty much won everywhere, and he was always running 13.0 or quicker. Anyone who's running those kind of times is incredibly dangerous. Anyone doing it consistently is, setting themselves apart. And I think going into that, it's, he had a couple of tough races just before, and I think he showed, big character to kind of come off the back. He fell in one, he had a poor race in another, and to get it right in Rio just showed his quality. But, he won in the World Indoors prior to that as well. So I think anyone who didn't see him coming kind of had their eyes closed.
I was gonna say, when you see a story like that, is it motivation for you, given the ups and downs that he's had?
Yeah, I'm kind of focusing on my own journey at the moment, to be honest. But all the hurdlers, even on the world stage, are quite tight. We all know each other. He's a cool guy, and he's obviously really talented because of the times he's running. So, that's good. But I'm very much focused on where I'm up to now and building upon that. But I think we all kind of. It's weird in the hurdles. It's obviously really competitive, but everyone gets on and you kind of support each other, and it's good to see good guys doing well also.
I suppose your work starts this weekend. What's the target?
Just to win. Just to win, as you kind of alluded to. We've got David Owen, David King, two really good, talented guys. In really good form, both ran PBs their last meet, as did I. So I think the kind of Sheffield crowd are going to see a good race. But I just got to try and win, get my place booked to go to Belgrade, and consolidate on my performance last week.
Good luck with that, yeah.
Cheers, thanks a lot.